Hare Krishna, Jai Radhe. Thank you for inviting me for today's class. This is one of the most, beautiful days in the whole life when Srimati Radharani appears. There was this picture recently, of baby Radharani's deity from Radharani's birthplace. Oh, so sweet. So sweet. This is not usually what we think about Radharani. We don't think about her in terms of Vatsalya Ras, small child, but, well, this was very sweet. Those who live there, those fortunate souls who born and raised up in Radharani's birthplace, so they have probably some different races, but yes. I want to start with, well, let's see what Srila Prabhupada says about this book, Krishna book, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says in the beginning, to my father, Gaur Mohande, 1849-1930, a pure devotee of Krishna who raised me as a Krishna-conscious child from the beginning of my life. In my boyhood ages, he instructed me how to play the mridanga. He gave me Radha Krishna Vigraha to worship. And he gave me Jagannath Yatra to duly observe the festival as my childhood play. He was kind to me, and I imbibed from him the ideas later on solidified by my spiritual master, the Eternal Father. Very significant personality, Gaur Mohande. He was, the only thing he was praying to their family deity, Shri Radha Govinda, was that, let my son become Radharani, please make him your devotee. This was the only thing he was thinking. So, pure devotee, for sure. Then just very little bit from the preface. Nivrita darshai upagiya manat pavo shatat shotramano piramat ka uttama shloka gunanvadat puman virajita vina pashuknat. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 1st chapter, text number 4. Then he starts. In the Western countries, when someone sees the cover of a book like Krishna, he immediately asks, who is Krishna? Who is the girl with Krishna? Etc. The immediate answer is that Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead, and so on. And so starts this most wonderful book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, who is really Srimati Radharani? Who is this girl? Who is this girl besides Krishna? And who is Krishna? This is answered in all our books. Well, actually, Srimati Radharani is the most important person in our movement, in our lives, because you see, Vaishnavas are those who worship Lord Vishnu or Narayan, Then we have, what shall I say, Rama Bhaktas maybe, and Bhaktas of Lord Ramachandra. Then we have Krishna Bhaktas, devotees of Krishna. Then we have Gaudiya Vaishnavas. They are devotees of Radha. Actually, most important person in our movement is Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami is the one we want to follow, his footsteps. That's why we always start our Mangala Charana by saying, Om Agyana Timirantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshul Milzamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Then we say, Sri Chaitanya Mano Pishtam Stabitamena Pudale Swayam Rupa Akadamahyam Dadati Svabadantika. Which means that Rupa Goswami was the one who established the mission of Lord Chaitanya in this world. And every Gaudiya Vaishnava is simply a follower of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, actually we don't think we are devotees of Krishna, we are servants of Krishna. We don't say that. We say we are servants of Krishna, or Srimati Radharani, actually. Our goal is not to see Krishna personally. It is, of course, but our goal is to, serve his servant in such a way that, Krishna becomes pleased. So this is the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Gaudiya Vaishnavas are a very special thing because they have totally different mood. And this mood comes from Srimati Radharani. There is a book called Chaitanya Manjusha. And in that book it says, Aratyo Bhagavan Rajesha Danaya Tathama Vrindavana. As Bhagavan is worshipable, as Krishna is worshipable, so is his Dhama, Vrindavan Dham, as worshipable as Krishna. And the Ramya, Kvachit, Rajavathu, the best mode of worship is the worship of gopis, how gopis worshipped Krishna. This is the best way of worshipping Krishna. And then Srimad Bhagavatam, Amalam Puranam, means that Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana. And Prema Bhumartha Mahan, which means that, the fifth goal of life, love of God, Krishna Prema, is the highest goal, which actually, casts shadow to all the other goals, all the other aspirations. And this was Lord Chaitanya's teaching in summary. So, Hare Krishna. To understand Srimati Radharani is not just enough to read the stories about Srimati Radharani. This is not enough. We have to, we need to become very pure. We need to purify our senses and our heart to understand Srimati Radharani. We cannot understand who is Srimati Radharani, who is Krishna, by logic, by hearing, by whatever. It's not possible, because it is only possible to understand by spiritual senses, the spiritual consciousness, spiritual mind, purified from lust. This is the most important, purified from all anarthas. Then we can understand Krishna. That's why we have this wonderful process of Krishna Bhakti, which gives us the way, possibility to develop step by step, which doesn't allow us to be just sentimental or just what shall I say, jump over certain steps. Because just like if you want to be a surgeon, you cannot just become a surgeon. You have, just like that, you have to train a lot. You have to be under someone's mentorship and read and study and practice and so on. In such a way, in the same way, to become eligible to understand Radha and Krishna, we need to purify our senses. In order to understand any form of God, any incarnation, any avatar, any expansion, any Vishnu-tattva, we need the same. It's not different. So, yes, who is Srimati Radharani actually? Isn't it? It's Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Samohini Para. The transcendental goddess Srimati Radharani is a direct counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna. She is not different from Krishna, and Krishna isn't different from Srimati Radharani. She's a central figure for all the goddesses of fortune. She possesses all the attractiveness to attract the all-attractive personality of Godhead. She is a primal, internal potency of the Lord. Yes, Srimati Radharani and Krishna and Srimati Radharani, they are always together. There's no difference, and there is no separation between them. There is no way they can be separated from each other. But there is one way, one extra way they can do. They can combine. They cannot be separated, but they can combine together. Why? Because sometimes Krishna thinks, what is Srimati Radharani feeling when she loves me so much? How much bliss she cherishes by loving me, and he wants to experience that love. Then he becomes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These two combine or Krishna actually, rather Krishna, he takes the color and the senses and consciousness of Srimati Radharani, and he becomes Gauranga. He becomes golden, and he becomes a devotee of himself, basically. He can do that. He can put himself totally in the position of being devotee of servant of his own self, in order to relish this mood of Srimati Radharani. This is Lord Chaitanya. Yes, Srimati Radharani is even more powerful than Lord Krishna, because if Lord Krishna is Madan Mohan, he can, he's so beautiful. When we read the book, Krishna book, if we read it carefully and very attentively, everywhere it's just full of descriptions of Krishna and Balaram, nothing else. Krishna's abode and Krishna's pastimes. So then we become simply so attracted to Krishna. We don't even know. We just know very little. We know theoretically how attractive he is, but he just enchants the whole universe. But he becomes enchanted by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Srimati Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. She attracts, someone who even attracts the one who attracts everyone else. So Krishna is under control of Srimati Radharani in that way. So, you see, in the Goloka Vrindavan or Pauma Vrindavan here, we have Krishna's pastimes. He sometimes in the 28th Mahakalpa, between Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, he appears once in the day of Brahma. It's so rare, so seldom he comes, but he comes to display his pastimes. Because then he can show us what's the spiritual world like. I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture recently. He was talking in Melbourne, public lecture. He was talking about, holy name. He says that, the process of religion is to chant holy name. Well, he says, the Lord Chaitanya said there are millions and thousands, millions and zillions of names of Krishna, and you can chant any of them. If you have name and address of the God, please chant. But does anyone know any name of God? Please tell me. Someone said, Jehovah. Yeah, if you believe that's the name of God, yeah, you can chant that. He didn't mind. So I'm not so sure about that. But the idea is that, we have to know the name, personality, pastimes, abode, address of God. That's why he comes as Lord Ram, as Lord Nrisimha, and finally himself as Lord Krishna, just to attract our minds and, just to save us from this world, to bring us home. So, that's why he comes very, very rarely, just to display his lilas, so that we can absorb our minds in his lilas. Yes, there are different rasas. He displays all the possible rasas, especially in Vrindavan. So in Vrindavan, once Kamsa, he actually was inspired by Narad Muni, because Kamsa was living in Mathura. He was a big demon. He wanted to kill Krishna. He just didn't know who was the eighth son of Nanda and Yashoda. Devaki and Vasudeva. He was keeping these two in prison. He wanted to make sure every child was killed. So he was killing all these boys and whoever was born there, basically boys. So, but then Narada Muni, once he comes to him and tells him, Narada Muni is called Devadarshana. You cannot see Narada Muni with our eyes. We cannot see him. He is only seen by devas, by the demigods, those who have demigod vision, nobody else. Narada Muni comes to Kamsa. When somebody asks, the Prabhupada says, somebody may ask, how could Kamsa see Narada if Narada is Devadarshana? Then Prabhupada says, it says in Bhagavatam, if Kamsa could see Krishna, he could also see Narada. He was specially favored. Yes. Then, Narada Muni tells him, you know what? I know where is your killer. Who is that? This is the boy there, Krishna, and his brother Balaram. They are raised by Nanda Yashoda. These are those who will kill you. And Kamsa says, well, thank you so much. Why did Narada do that? I mean, he actually kind of, wanted to accelerate the process of killing these demons, because one thing is that Krishna displays his pastimes in Vrindavan for his devotees, but he has another function as well. He wants to kill all these terrible demons. So now it was time, thought Narada. Now Kamsa, you should be killed. So what Kamsa does? He becomes angry, of course, and he says, "Call Akrura." And Akrura was living in Mathura. He was a great devotee of Krishna. We have these 9 different processes: Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmani, Vedam. Akrura was the one who was perfected. I mean, he was always perfect, of course, by prayers, by Vandanam. Isn't it? Yes. Sometimes I may forget things. So Akrura was called in, and Kamsa told him, you have to go to Vrindavan, bring Krishna and Balaram here. And Akrura says, I can't believe my good fortune. I have to go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna. I can see Krishna and Balaram. He was totally in ecstasy. He was just contemplating about, he was thinking of Krishna 24 hours in any way. But now he got the opportunity to come and go and visit Krishna and bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. He was so happy. He was totally mad. And he drove his chariot and went to Mathura. But before he went there, when he saw Vrindavan, he looked down from his chariot and he saw in the sand the lotus footprints of Krishna and Balaram with all these different wonderful divine symbols and signs, and he falls down from his chariot just to offer obeisance. He's in total ecstasy. Then he comes to Krishna and Balaram. He sees them in Vrindavan. And it's this evening time. Krishna and Balaram, they are, they are supervising milking the cows. He's standing there. These 2 brothers are standing and tell, you do this, just like ordinary human beings. And Akrura just, he offers them millions of obeisances. And Krishna and Balaram, they look so beautiful, just unbelievable. Anyway, then, Nanda Maharaj comes to Akrura and says, well, how are you, my brother? Things like that, inquiring about Vasudeva and Devaki, how are they doing, all these things. And then he tells, then Akrura reveals the reason why he came. He says, now I have to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, to Kamsa. And you cannot do that. Nanda Maharaj is just totally in shock. Everybody is in shock. They cannot believe Akrura has to take them away. Well, but Ananda said, we probably have to do that. He orders, cowherd man and everyone. Now you collect this, and we have to bring all these things to the king, Kamsa. And, they prepare all the chairs and everything. And then gopis, they are thinking, Krishna cannot leave us. We cannot allow that. This is not possible. Well, we know Krishna is kind of neglecting us. Rasa dance has already taken place, of course. We were dancing with Krishna one night, but this one night, it went just like 1 second. This one night was actually the duration of Brahma's one night, which is like billions of years. But for them, it was just a second. Because they could not, and for them, they cannot never be satisfied, satiated by, they cannot get enough of Krishna. So they are so unhappy. They said, well, we tell him, but probably he won't listen to us. Then we block the door, broke the road. We'll just block, we don't let him go. And then, Krishna and Balaram, they go up in the chariot, and then they have to start driving chariot, and gopis come. Well, Krishna tells them, my dear gopis, don't worry, I'll come back. Don't worry about it. And then gopis say, okay, we cancel this riot, we cancel this blocking the road. So they promise they will come back. Okay. But then they stand and then look at the chariot which is driven. Well, they said, well, see the fortune. I mean, providence, how cruel you are by sending Akrura. Akrura means not cruel. The name Akrura means he's not cruel. But then he sends, not cruel one by name, but who is totally cruel because he takes Krishna from us. And then they stand like this and they look at the chariot. And Shukadeva Goswami describes them. They looked like paintings. They were just totally lifeless. They were just, staring at the chariot which was driving away from them. And then, this flag on the chariot, it just suddenly, slowly disappears. Then they can only see the sand coming up from the chariot, and then it also disappears. And they are just so unhappy. Well, then Krishna goes to Mathura, and apparently he never comes back. He kills Kamsa. He kills all these demons, Chandra, Mushtika, all these terrible guys. They kill both of them. They kill everyone. Well, and when they come there, so it was revealed actually, they are not, Yashoda's and Nanda's children. And then Vasudeva Devaki, they said, well, now you are like 16 or something like that. We have to think about your education. You have to stay in Mathura. They didn't let them go to Vrindavan. So Krishna actually never came to Vrindavan since that. So many years pass, and then once, in Dwarka, Krishna has a great friend, Uddhava. Uddhava looked exactly like Krishna. His form was exactly like Krishna's. Because he has this Sarupya liberation. Sarupya means the same form. He looks like, exactly, outwardly he looks like Krishna. He is a great devotee of Krishna. Since his childhood, Uddhava was just playing with the dolls of Krishna. This was the only thing he was thinking and he was doing in his life. Anyway, Uddhava was asked because they became very good friends. And Uddhava was a disciple of Brihaspati, the heavenly teacher. And Krishna tells him, dear Uddhava, I have a request to you. Please go to Vrindavan. And I know they are missing me so much. My mother, my father, my friends and gopis. Please go there and tell them that I am always thinking of them. Then Uddhava, of course, goes to Vrindavan. And first he meets Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. But Nanda is talking. Yashoda is not talking. And Nanda says, oh, dear Uddhava, you are so nice. And things. How is Krishna? How is, Devaki? And how is Vasudeva? How is Krishna and Balaram? How are they doing? Do they ever remember their old parents? Do they ever talk about us? And, he is so absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And, Uddhava is totally stunned, looking back at his devotion. He's just totally speechless. Well, Yashoda Devi, she sits beside him, but she says no word at all. She cannot say a word. She's just crying. She's just crying like anything, and milk is just flowing from her breasts, and she's just crying in separation. due to separation from Krishna. And Uddhava is like, yeah, he has never seen anything like that, so much devotion. Then, gopis, they think, who is this guy? I mean, he's a messenger from Krishna. And they want to take him in a secluded place just to talk to him about, some kind of secret things, of course, because gopis have a secret relationship with Krishna. Secret relationships between man and woman in this world is abominable, is condemned. Secret relationship of gopis with Krishna is adored by Lord Chaitanya, who would not even let his female devotees to come closer to 100 yards or something. They have to offer obeisance because he was a sannyasi. But for him, the gopis' devotion to Krishna was the best, was the highest. Once he was in school in Navadvip, he was one day, he actually started chanting the names of gopis. Then somebody, his classmates tell him, what are you doing? You have to chant Krishna's name, not gopis' names. And he said, well, these people will never understand me. I have to take sannyas because they will take me seriously. They couldn't understand this point. Gopis' names. So for him, gopis, gopi were the best devotees of all. Gopis will take Uddhava alone to some place, and then they will talk to him. Oh yes, you know what? We are wasting our time, but we will just ask you anyway. Does Krishna ever remember his village girlfriends, or he's just too much into the city girls? And of course, he's so rich and he's so beautiful and powerful, and all these wonderful city ladies and girls are surround him. And of course, why should he bother remembering us? Oh, of course, then one of the gopis, Srimati Radharani, she sits like this. She says nothing. And then a bumblebee, and a huge bee, comes and wants to touch her feet. Then Srimati Radharani starts talking. Okay, you messenger of Krishna. She thinks that this bumblebee is sent by Krishna to her. The point is what she says, that when you are the master, you are an unreliable messenger or an unreliable master. Please go back and tell your master that, we don't really want to see you anymore. If you don't want to see us, we know you are happy there, whatever, something like that. And she's actually, and that's it. Actually, then this chapter stops very, very quickly. No, not really, sorry, it goes on. But, this is Srimati Radharani. This talk to Bumblebee is the highest expression of Mahabhava, the love of Godhead, love of Krishna. Because, she's almost insane. And this is characteristic for Srimati Radharani because she is so much in love with Krishna, and she's so much kind of disturbed in her thoughts that she always talks nonsense. She never talks nonsense, of course, but as if she is mentally deranged. Well, sometimes she cries, sometimes she laughs, sometimes she's happy, sometimes she wants to say, Krishna, please excuse me all the offenses. Sometimes she says, I don't want to see you anymore. You are such a cruel boy and whatever. All these different things she expresses. And but it's not a theater. It's not a drama. It's not something mundane. This is not something we can compare to anything we experience in this world. This is totally transcendental. This is actually the state. Well, we cannot imitate Radharani. We can never get the feelings Radharani gets, but I mean, the idea is that we have original relationship with Krishna. And all these rasas which are in this world, Vatsalya rasa is one of the most common rasa because, parents and kids and most of people are married and have kids, whatever, most of us. So Vatsalya rasa, but this is best Vatsalya rasa is with Krishna, like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Best conjugal love is with Krishna. Best friendship is with Krishna. Best servitorship is with Krishna. If you want to know Krishna as somebody as unknown, or you don't really want to have active relationship, this is best with Krishna too. Just like if you want to be grass or tree, or don't serve directly him, but be supportive. This is neutrality. This is with Krishna. This is the best thing with Krishna. So, that's all these lilas we read. They are actually to show us that we have original relationship with Krishna, and we have to remember this. We have to revive this thing, this rasa, our particular rasa with Krishna. And which rasa doesn't really matter. Whatever comes to us, anyone in the spiritual world is happy with what he has or she has. There is no superior, inferior. But if you look objectively, then, everybody knows Gopi's rasa, Gopi's relationships are the highest. Anyway, Uddhava then goes back to Krishna and, tells him that he just wants to be born in Vrindavan and, have the dust of the gopis on his head because he admires them so much. Then goes some time, and then there is a solar eclipse. And then everybody wants to be at Kurukshetra, at a place called place where Lord Parashuram killed all these bad kshatriyas 21 times, but then he killed so many people, he wanted to atone this. And he digs 5 lakes, and then he lives there, he wants to atone the killing. By this, he shows that even this divine killing is not good. We should not kill anyone. So this is the place where, different yadus come, of course. If you read how Prabhupada describes, how Shukadeva Goswami describes how yadus come, they come with chariots, with horses, like they move like waves of the ocean. And somebody comes with elephants. Elephants move like clouds in the sky. They're so fast. It's not like they were just like very much behind, not developed people at all. It's not like that. They had different technologies. These Aryans. Anyway, all these different countries, kings and surroundings, they will come to Kurukshetra. But then Krishna, when he sees, Krishna Balaram, they sit in the chariot, and when their chariot is driving, everybody's like, when they see their beauty, when Krishna then finds out that Vrindavan people have come too, he becomes so happy. This is the only time they met. Then, at night, of course, then he talks to gopis alone, and then he as Srimati Radharani, everyone wants to, please, Srimati Radharani, you talk to Krishna, you stay alone with him. We'll be back. We'll go here from here. Anyway, so this chapter, it doesn't go so much into detail, because what happens there is the most amazing thing. Then Lord Chaitanya describes what happened. What happens was once during the Ratha Yatra in Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya, he cannot even speak anymore. He gargles some, he he says, gives some, sounds which is totally incomprehensible because he's so much in ecstasy. But he says one line, which means that I finally have my old master again, or something like that. I meet him again. This is the only thing. Then Rupa Goswami, who was there, he actually lived in a hut, in a straw hut, or what you call it. Yeah. And then he writes one shloka, and he puts it on the top of the, on the roof or something, on this, of his little room or something. And then Lord Chaitanya, when every day, every morning, he would go to see Lord Jagannath, and he would go to, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Haridas Thakur, because they, they would never come and see Lord Jagannath because they said they have been Muslims and, they are offenders, But then Lord Jagannath himself would come and visit every day and see them, give them his own darshan. He comes to Rupa Goswami, he looks at this, like palm leaf or something, and the shloka is written. And he says to Rupa Goswami, you are a thief. What have you done? What? I mean, Swarup Damodar is there, his secretary. And he says, well, Rupa Goswami writes a poem, just a shloka, which has that, this is the same night, this is the same breeze, same moon is shining, same breeze is blowing, and your flute. But whatever. But I want to bring you on the bank of the Yamuna and hear the fifth note of your flute. How did you understand the meaning of it? Because this is the meaning. Finally, I have my master again. Well, then Swarup Damodar says, well, Mahaprabhu, only way he could understand that, it's because he has your special mercy. There is no other way. Because he actually disclosed his mind. And Lord Chaitanya, actually, he was saying, basically, in these words, that this is because Lord Chaitanya has the mood of Srimati Radharani. He finally meets Lord Jagannath, Krishna, in Dwaraka, in Kurukshetra, in all this very rich environment and everything, but she doesn't want him to be there. She doesn't like to be seeing Krishna as a prince, as a king, whatever. She wants to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. Well, did really Krishna leave Vrindavan? No. When Nanda Maharaj and Krishna Balaram, they go to Mathura, he kills all these. When they go, before they go, Akrura takes bath in the Yamuna River, and Krishna Balaram take the bath there too. Then Akrura sees Lord Vishnu and Ananta Shesh, and he understands these are Krishna Balaram actually. Then he, in the water. Then he comes up, looks at in the chariot, and Krishna Balaram sitting there. Well, you know what I saw in the rivers? He asks them, we don't know. So he understood that, Krishna, he took his Prabhava or Vaibhava forms. It means that Krishna transformed, he stayed in Vrindavan, and Vishnu form is gone. Krishna, in his Vishnu expansion, went to Mathura because he never leaves Vrindavan. When Nanda Maharaj comes back, Krishna comes back in his bhava form, which is his real form. He never left Vrindavan. But, you could not see him. They could not see him, but he was always there. Gopis, they were totally in separation with Krishna, but they were not unhappy. They were totally happy. And Krishna was always with them, always. And it says that his Prabhava and Vaibhava forms went to other places, killing demons, things like that. So Jagannath, Radha Yatra is actually this thing. Radharani wants to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. So understanding Radharani's mood means that we have to chant Hare Krishna really carefully. And we cannot chant Hare Krishna without offenses. This is not possible. We have to chant first Lord Chaitanya's and Nityananda's names, because this is the only way we can be cleansed of our anarthas. Then at one point, when we are purified enough, then we understand all these lilas. It's something called lila smarana. Gopis and all the Vrindavan residents, they were always in lila smarana. They always would remember Krishna's pastimes. Always, always, always. This is the characteristic of devotee. Devotee thinks, by loving Krishna, all my desires are fulfilled. He doesn't want anything else. He's so happy with that. This is called faith. This is definition of faith by Lord Chaitanya, that one is convinced that by loving Krishna, I'm perfect. That's our goal. We don't want to become jnanis, yogis, whatever, rich people, famous people. If it comes to us as part of service, it's okay, but it should be dovetailed to Krishna's service. We are not dry renunciants. We don't say no to everything. We say yes to everything and using it in Krishna's service. So when we become purified by the process of devotional service, by serving Srila Prabhupada's mission and chanting the holy names, then all these lilas will be revealed to us. So then we will always remember them. Hare Krishna, Jai Radhe. And we have to pray to Srimati Radharani. Dear Radharani, I am so fallen, I'm so insignificant. Please engage me in the service of Krishna. Without Radharani, we cannot become pure devotees. Hare Krishna.